Hey, my beautiful bitches, it's me, Fiona St. James, and welcome to Fiona's Coffee Talks. And as always, I love to start off every morning with a black, fresh cup of coffee. Hold the cream! I'd love to. And of course, my favorite mug of all times with the quote of the century by Oscar Wilde. Life is too important to be taken seriously. So lighten up, folks. And of course, I kickstart every morning with a cup of coffee with Kahlua, of course, because that's the only way I get revved up. So, today's topic of conversation is traveling. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that is one of my all-time favorite things to do. As a matter of fact, when people say, what are your hobbies? That's always my number one, traveling. And, I've had my passport since I was 13, and even now, if I don't jump on a plane every few months, I just don't feel right. So, I've traveled a lot, both domestically as well as internationally. Domestically speaking, I was born and raised in New York. So apart from the surrounding Northeast states, I've been to California quite a bit, Texas, Cincinnati, several cities in Texas, Dallas, San Antonio, Houston, lots of different cities in California, Palm Springs, Los Angeles, San Diego, San Francisco, of course. And a lot of those places I've been to like more than once, several times. It seems like a lot of times in my life, I will like find one place that I like, and then of course, since I've been known to be an extremist, then suddenly I find myself going to a particular city repeatedly. And then, I'll do that for a certain amount of years. And then, sort of then want to expand my horizons and try something different. Florida also I go to a lot. There was one point not too long ago, a number of years back, where I was found myself in Key West all the time. During a 3-year period, I was there quite a bit. I have to say that in recent years, the two cities that I tend to go to domestically, time and time again, are Palm Springs, California, and Fort Lauderdale in Florida. Specifically Wilton Manors, which is the gay section, and Palm Springs, as you know, is very gay, and as we know, I'm very gay. So it would stand to reason that that's where I would go. And I think those two places also, because they are climate-wise, warmer temperatures, I tend to like that, The cold after a while, honey, being in New York City, I've dealt with the cold my whole life, and I've lived here my whole life. So, when I go someplace, I tend to like a warmer climate just to have that warmth and that sunshine and vitamin D, because God knows our summers in New York City tend to be short-lived. So, and then internationally speaking, I've been to Europe a few times. First time was in 1994. I went to London, Amsterdam, and Mykonos. I went for about 4 weeks total between those three places. Then I went back to Mykonos about, 4 years ago with my best friend John. Hey, bunnies! And then he and I actually just were both in Spain this past September. We went to Barcelona as well as Sitges. We loved it so much that we're actually going back to Sitges next September. It's International Bear Leather Week or something. So, there's all of these hot, hunky men from all over the world. And even though I'm not necessarily a bear, I just figured, let me pour honey all over myself and hope for the best and call myself Honey Hoo Hoo. So I just had an amazing time. And then, of course, being born and raised in New York, but my parents are from Ecuador. So as a teenager, I spent a lot of my summer vacations in Ecuador. I've also been to Colombia and Peru. So those are my South American countries. And the other big international trip that I did was about 20 years ago. I went to Australia. I went there for about 3 weeks. Not London, listen to me. I went to Australia. I went to Melbourne is what I was trying to say. Brisbane. When I was in Brisbane, I also went to Noosa, and then I went to Sydney for 10 days. So that total trip was about 3 weeks. That was incredible, and it's kind of sad to see what's happening there in Australia with all of these fires, and it's just devastating. My heart bleeds for them because it's just, that's such an amazing country. And, there were two places that when I was at, I thought if I never came back to the States, I would not have cared. And that was Sydney. There's just something about the people there. It must be in the water because the people there, male, female, gay, straight, anyone you meet there, just beautiful inside and out. And I had the most incredible time and I never wanted to leave. Of course, I had to come back home because this is where I lived. The other city that I felt that way was when I went to Amsterdam. It was that same feeling where had I never left, if I would have just stayed there permanently at that stage, I would have been the happiest person in the world. Of course, I had to come back because this is where I live. And then I guess domestically, like I said, I've been to so many different places, and currently I would say the one place that holds my heart near and dear is Palm Springs. And, I have a few friends out there because I did live out there a number of years back. I lived in LA back in 1990 for like a year. And back then when I was 25 and moved there, I thought that was where I belonged, but then of course things change. And when I was in Palm Springs, I loved it. And who knows, like if I would ever leave New York down the line and go to someplace warm, I would think that it would be either like Palm Springs or Fort Lauderdale, one of those two places. And I think that's why in recent years, that's why I go back to them. So, but you know what? Anywhere you go, it doesn't matter. I'm just all about jumping on a plane and going somewhere. And even if it's someplace I've already been that I love and I just want to see friends or enjoy the weather or like do my own thing, that's great. Or if I want to go someplace new, which is always exciting, especially if it's a different country, then you get to experience new cultures. So internationally, if I thought, where have I not been that I'd love to go, I'd have to say Italy. And then in terms of the States, I've always wanted to go to Hawaii, which I've never been. And again, warm weather, but I just imagine that the beaches are beautiful and I've only heard amazing things about that place. So I think those would be like the two places that I'd love to go to. I don't have any plans of going to either one anytime soon, but I guess they're on my bucket list, as they say. So anyway, viewers, where do you guys like going? Are you like me where you just, you feel the need to travel, and not even need, the desire? And I'm not one to really deny myself the desires that I have. If I want something, I usually just go for it, no pun intended. But traveling wise, it's like, I love doing that. And, if I can afford to do it, why not? So where do you guys like going? Do you guys have a hot spot? Do you find one spot and then go there for a few years and then find something else? Or do you like just going someplace once and then finding another place and mixing it up that way? I guess I'm sort of a combination of the two. And, and it varies from where I am in my life. But, the end result being traveling is just amazing. So let me know your thoughts. All right, guys, as always, thank you so much for letting me speak and for listening and for tuning in and subscribing. And don't forget to subscribe as well as hit the notification button. And I look forward to the next time that I get to be with all of my beautiful people. All right, guys. Love you. Bye.